Today I was going to be drinking Fernet Branca. That's an Italian Amaro, but they didn't have it at the place that I usually go. And by the way, the place I usually go I love. It's one of those booze places where they just have so much stuff and the staff is usually so knowledgeable. And this guy came at me and I thought he was kidding. I asked for a bottle of Fernet and he said, "Oh, Fernet Branca," and kept calling it Fernet. It's Fernet. And this is when I was a lot less zen than I am now. And by the time I left that place, I was ready to choke this dude to death because no matter what I said to him, I finally was like, "It's pronounced Fernet." And he just looked at me like I didn't say anything. And he wasn't European or anything. He just, Fernet Branca. He would not let it go. I still am getting agitated right now thinking about it. So Fernet is the main category. There's lots of different Fernets. I never really used it as a digestif until I don't eat a lot of Italian food, and I ate a big Italian meal. And it really works to digest your food. That bloated feeling you get, where you just feel like you can't move, gives you a little buzz, because usually you're not drinking a whole lot of it. Gives you a little buzz, and it starts breaking down the food that you got in your stomach, and it's just wonderful. So they didn't have Fernet Branca at the place I go, and the guy talked me into this. Fernet Francisco. I guess San Francisco has probably the highest per capita Fernet drinkers in the country, which is not surprising. But he gave me this stuff. It's not the regular one. This one has been in a barrel for 12 months, and I usually don't do barrel stuff too well, but and I know this bottle is open. I'm not going to keep doing open bottle tastings, so you don't know if I'm really drinking it. But Coachella was last weekend or a couple weeks ago, and Passover and Easter were on a day I work, and this is what I got. This is what we're doing. I really was bummed after I got this bottle home because I read up on it, and I love the idea of having local to California herbs and things like that are put into the bottle, because I'm sure it's the same thing. Well, it's probably not, but in my head, it's the same as having local wildflower honey. When you have that local wildflower honey, the pollen that gets you allergies, you kind of are inoculating yourself to. So even if that's not the same case, I kind of like the idea of that. So I just loved, San Francisco, okay, it's kind of close to LA-ish. And so I was all excited. And then I read a little further and saw that one of the guys that started this was on The Bachelor. Yay. Thanks a lot. So, obviously I have tried it. I'm not gonna try to do the acting thing. I'm just gonna pour myself an 1.5 ounces. If you watched my last video, you know I called this 2 ounces. I don't know what this little cup's called. I actually tried to figure it out before, but I couldn't, so. Yep. If you might notice, I think it's a little lighter looking than Fernet Branca, but let's give it a taste. God damn it. It is so good. It is so good. I didn't want it to be good. I wanted to hate it. Not that there's anything to hate about San Francisco. I'm sure there's lots to hate about The Bachelor. But this shit is just wonderful. Oh, it has a little bit of a different, herbal vibe. Obviously, it's more local California stuff. But it's less sweet, and unless you've had a meal, you don't want any of that. It's less sweet, more of a bitter, a little higher alcohol than Fernet Branca, and it's just wonderful. My favorite way to drink Fernet is with soda water back. If you can, you get mineral water always. Like just if you can, you get bottled tonic water. It's just it's another one of those things where you're doing something a little. You're not just putting gas into the bubbles. You've actually got minerals in here. So for me, the reason why it's so good, and I'm sure, I mean, this was an old frontier remedy, is you would take bitters, which this is classified as a bitters, soda, and lemon, and you'd put those together, and you would drink that as it's an old west stomach cure when you have a stomach ache. And what's happening is the lemon will shrink your stomach, and the bubbles will bubble the bitters all over your stomach, and it soothes. I mean, the stuff soothes. The herbs and bitter, it just works. The closest I could get to describing a Fernet to someone who has never had it, if they've had any of that homeopathic Chinese medicine that you put under your tongue, it tastes like that. It's a bitter. It's bitters. So in my perfect world, I am taking a sip. I would have to sit with it for a minute, and let's not be shy, I'll go right out of the bottle. Finishing it with a little soda water. When I'm at the bar, if someone asks for Fernet with water back, I will give them a Fernet with the water back. And then I will take a thing of soda water and I will put it out on the bar next to them. And I will say, you have got to try this, do whatever you want, it's there, and they always come back with, that was just wonderful. This is running a little long, I'm a little long-worded. Besides, if I was gonna make there's lots of good cocktails you can make with Fernet. I was just gonna make Fernet and soda water. I would have done it in highball, but I don't have one. I was just gonna put it in here, but I don't think there's really any need to. Fernet Francisco, wanted to hate it. It's fucking awesome. Happy drinking.